Hello everyone. I wanted to do my best to summarize or share predictions regarding Cyberpunk post-release. Before I get into that though, I'll go and cover the release date aspect of it. I want to be very clear that I am confused. This is not an attempt to clickbait, this is legitimately me confused. I will share everything I know, and whether or not that it's true or not is completely up for you to figure out. But this video and a couple of articles have indicated that if you've pre-ordered Cyberpunk 2077 from GOG, you will get it earlier than some other users. How early, I think, is within a couple of hours. I think it's all on the same day, but it's just a couple hours difference between them. At least that's my interpretation of it. I could be wrong, but if I am, then you are able to read that for yourself. So yes, I will link this in the description, and you're more than welcome to Google the rest. Okay, with that said, I'm now going to give a summary in regards to the attributes and other gameplay mechanics regarding Cyberpunk so that you understand where I'm going with predictions. It has been made clear in several videos that Cyberpunk will feature skill checks checks, I should say, for the attributes. It was mentioned that strength does play a part in whether or not you can hijack a vehicle, for example. If the person that's driving the vehicle has a higher strength check than you, then you're not going to win that, for example. It has not really been talked about, but it has been shown in multiple videos that there is a stealth takedown. We don't know, well, at least I don't know, maybe others don't know as well, that there's just not much information on that front at this time. I'm sure we'll learn more as the game gets played. Last thing that I think should be brought up in regards to what has been said regarding the attributes and stuff, the attributes do play a part in not just the checks, but also in the usage of the equipment, items, or whatnot that is associated with that attribute. So it's going to be kind of like Fallout in terms of that interaction. I don't think that it will directly affect your starting point with those, because they have made it clear that each weapon has its own experience bar, essentially. The more you use the weapon, the higher the level it will be. That's the summary that I think best affects what I'm about to say regarding all of this. Now let's get into, I guess, the basics and then the predictions. Okay, you can see I've pulled it up on the screen, and of course I'll link this all in the description, but this is a pretty good summary of the attributes. To summarize it best, body, which I'm accidentally calling strength these days. So when I was talking about the checks with overpowering somebody, that's body. Strength, body, I'm going to get it mixed up in my head. You have intelligence, reflexes, cool, and technical. I'm going to give you a summary based on what I've seen with these videos. Technical does involve your ability to scrap things, or at least make scrap out of things, and also your ability to use blueprints. It has been mentioned in multiple videos that technical does involve creating things like silencers for your firearms. I think technical will play a bigger part than weapon attachments, but there's not enough information for me to say for sure. Intelligence does affect your ability to use hacks and other things. It also does affect your ability to defend yourself against hacks, is what I'm detecting from the various videos. Cool has to do with stealth, And yes, it does govern sniper rifles, so it's clear that cool is meant to be its own category in terms of gameplay. Reflexes is meant to be pistols, rifles, and bladed weapons, apparently. Body is two-handed weapons, including shotguns and two-handed melee. As you can see, they all play a factor in how you create your character. Lifestyle choices will also affect it, and to what degree, I don't know. Because they haven't listed raw numbers. They've mentioned it, but no raw numbers have been listed. Now, each of the weapons / attributes, they all have their own perks associated with them. Another thing that's not very well known. That's kind of the summary in regards to the attributes. Now I'll share my prediction. In terms of builds, I do think that every single build that you do will require at least some intelligence to protect yourself from hacks. If you take it above what would be considered the baseline for defense, though, then that would make you a character capable of responding to various situations due to the fact that you can do things like override an enemy cybernetics. So I think in that regard, a stealth build will probably feature cool as well as intelligence as the primary sources. That way you can use offensive hacks with your stealth. It will essentially give you the ability to deal with one enemy via hacks and then the second enemy via a stealth weapon, whether it be a sniper rifle or blade, however you choose to do it. As far as a gun build is concerned, like if you don't really care about stealth or that kind of stuff, I would say more than likely Reflexes and Technical will be the primary. That way you can craft weapon mods yourself and essentially give yourself an edge in battle. Maybe as a secondary you would take Body so that you can use heavy weapons. I would say that's probably where things would go. I would say as far as like a dedicated hack build, like if you were to do something like what was the name of it in Mass Effect? It was Technician, wasn't it? The one that was both, or no, it was Engineer. Yeah, it was Engineer. Engineer that was combat and tech. I would say if you're doing kind of an engineer build, you probably would want to go intelligence and maybe reflexes as your primary, and then maybe as a secondary you would do body. And then that would give you a frontline combat build that would be able to do things in terms of disabling the enemy for making frontal assaults easier. Yeah, I would say that's probably a good start with my predictions in terms of where things are going in terms of builds. I guess I want to finish this recording by quickly pointing this out. The Reddit post you saw on my screen a few minutes ago does have a fairly good visual representation of the perks associated with the various categories and or attributes. So I will link both the Reddit post and this. You'll see them side by side in the descriptions. So yeah, if you want to completely skip over the Reddit post and go straight to that, then you can. I just wanted you to inform you that there will be two links side by side. But other than that, I hope y'all enjoy Cyberpunk, and maybe I'll do some recordings for it. Thanks for listening.